Well, Bill, I heard you at a lecture one evening when a little boy told you about seeing angels, and you immediately began to talk with him about that. Now, that little boy has once in a while been shut down by adults. He's able to have imaginary friends, and you and I both know, I from a PhD standpoint, and having researched people with brain scanners, that there are imaginary friends. There are people who are in the spirit, who are not in the body, that people who are not usually highly literate can see, because when we get literate like me, we become total skeptics. I mean, I had to go through 12 years of working in psychoneurobiology to discover all of these things, like we don't die, that we simply go out of the body. I had to see that photographed. I had to see it on computers. I had to work with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, in which we played tapes so that people could go out of the body because their brain hemispheres both went to 7.2 hertz, and they floated out of the body and saw their guardian angels in the room, so that I, as a skeptic, could understand that the old teachings about guardian angels is very real scientifically today, and it's the seminaries that have trouble with this. But you, coming from an intuitive standpoint, understood this. So when this little boy said to you, I want to talk about the angel that talks to me, you didn't go, ooh, or the adults in the room went, oh,
yeah.
And you shared with him some interesting insights.
Well, certainly. Children, because of their innocence and their faith or unfettered beliefs, are able to see and experience things that we as adults have deadened or shut down because of the intellect. Instead of living from the heart and living from our beliefs, we live from the mind, what has been taught. Well, you know, it's very interesting to listen to people talk about God, about all this spiritual and religious stuff. If you listen very carefully, many times they contradict themselves. God is a spirit. There are angels. When mom and dad die, or Uncle Jess dies, they go to heaven. Well, we all see that the body is put in the ground. What goes to heaven? It is the life. It is the real person, not the shell or the tool that has been given us to make our way to heaven. A child in his innocence knows this. It's an intuitive knowledge. You can't be made to accept and believe something unless you feel it deep inside of you. A child has not been corrupted by the materialism of our world. So a child can see. I feel that it is a spiritual responsibility to encourage children to talk about the world they see that we don't see as adults. They can tell us a great deal about life after death. They can tell us a great deal about the way God wants us to live.
Do you want to comment then on Jesus' statement that except you be as a little child?
You have to be as a little child in belief and in the love of God. That doesn't mean that we have to be a simpleton. You know, if we don't try to make God into our image, but accept him as he presents himself to us, then we're being as a child. You know, it's great to have the faith and the belief of a child, but you don't want to act like a child.